What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another dope episode of the Creative Conversations podcast. And I am your host, Blair, but my friends call me Brock. You can find this podcast on Apple's podcast, and you can also find it on Spotify. And all you have to do is search Creative Conversations, and you'll see this pretty face, and you'll be able to join it and join the conversations. And, don't be afraid to leave a message, leave a 5-star on Apple Podcasts, so that way more people can be exposed to the conversations, and that way they could be enlightened, just like I am when I speak to all of my wonderful guests. Now, with the housekeeping out of the way, we have a very special guest tonight. She is, how can I even describe it? She is the life of the party. She is the one who's going to crack a joke no matter how anyone else feels. She's about to laugh at it, and that makes us laugh too. She brings so much good energy to her viewers, to herself, to her YouTube, to her TikTok, and you're always going to have a good time. You're always going to feel loved. You're always going to feel warm with the homie tonight. Give it up for Steph, aka Steph Not Curry Co. How you doing tonight?
Hey, for that being your first time talking or doing the podcast and however long, you did good.
Oh, appreciate
Great
it.
intro, great intro.
I appreciate that.
I am doing good today. It's been a nice chill weekend. I've been watching my friends streaming and
Mhm.
working on my settings and
Mhm.
this thing called, posting, because you can't just be good off of streaming alone. You have to post as well. So I've been doing a lot of that this weekend.
I know I definitely hear that. I'm in the same boat now that things are kind of ramping up again creatively. I got to make sure that I post often, and I always got to make sure that I keep myself uh accountable, because I watch your streams and I'm like, hold on, let me make sure that I do what I'm going to do, because if I pop into your stream, you're going to be like, oh, Brock, you're in, where your streams at? So I got to make sure that I constantly build up on that as
Right.
well. So before we get started, just tell the people just a little bit about yourself. Who is Steph?
Oh boy, aren't those like always the questions where you have to think for a minute?
Mm-hmm.
Well, a little bit about myself. I live in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
I've been in Florida almost my whole life. I actually have been at Atlanta too for a few years, but
Mm.
Florida, it's just kind of what I've called home for now.
Yeah.
Um, let's see. What about me? What about me? I honestly, I feel like I used to go out a whole lot more. Not
Mm-hmm.
gonna lie to you. Since I became more of a gamer and kind of a full-time gamer now,
Mm-hmm.
it has changed to me just usually gaming or doing content, coming up with new ideas,
Mm-hmm.
playing with friends now and then, not a lot, and occasionally.
Yeah.
So it's kind of just been that's a little bit of what I do or have fun doing. I'm a huge animal lover. So if you have pets, I'd love to hear about them. But yeah, I would say that's a bit about me. That's kind of I'm still working on making that part exciting when people
Okay.
ask me.
No, I mean, it's exciting enough. You're
uh,
gonna, anybody who's an animal lover is definitely gonna relate off of it. I would say that
yes.
animals are cool. I definitely want a dog one day. I just don't want to pay for the maintenance. That's about it.
Oh yeah, yeah. The
Yeah.
maintenance, everything,
Hmm.
that time, attention, they require a lot. That's why it's kind of like the same with my friends' kids. I like to
Mm.
spend time with them, but then I
Mm.
also like the fact that I can give them back to you. So, I get, anytime I get my like, oh, I wish I had, I just, I get that time for pet sitting because I get a lot of people who
Mm.
ask me to pet sit. And then after that, give them right on back.
I hear you. I'm not mad at it. Being that
Mm-hmm.
you show care to animals like that, give care to yourself when it comes to your gaming and your craft. That definitely resonates with your audience. It definitely resonates with the people who love gaming, and then they see you having a good time speaking to your community that you've built over
Yeah.
the past 2-3 years. And
We'll
it
say 3 on and off years. Last year was actually a real year.
really okay.
Last
Well,
year to
hey,
this year. Yeah.
boy, I did a lot of research, and I was on your TikTok all the way back from March 2023. So I've definitely
Oof. The rough
brought in.
videos.
Hey, that was, you did
That
more than
was
what other
that
people were
was
doing.
back when I
That's all I'm
Oh,
saying.
yeah, we did. The crazy mic sounds and everything. Ugh. I remember I used to use my camera as my
Mm,
mic. I had this like those little like fuzzy things where you are out in the field and
mm,
you're, recording. and I
Yeah.
had that on my mic, and it was not the best one. And I listen to it now, and I'm just like, I can't believe I did that. But I'm happy
Yeah.
that the people who were there for me then, they
Hmm.
didn't care. They were through it all. So
Yeah, we always have humble beginnings, and then we grow into the people that we are now.
facts.
We constantly grow from there. That way, you don't stunt yourself. But
Hmm.
speaking of humble beginnings, let's go ahead and start there with you and your journey on streaming and content creation. What essentially got you into content creation and streaming as a whole, or guess gaming as a whole?
I would say, like, I was always a gamer. I
Hmm.
didn't know you could make it a job, like an actual job,
Hmm.
until I would say it was 2020.
Okay.
That was like a really rough year for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Um, a lot of people were in quarantine, or if you weren't like I guess they call it an essential worker. If you
Yeah.
weren't an
Yeah.
essential worker, you were at home. So I would spend a lot of my time at home. And that was kind of like the prime time, I think, for people to become streamers or YouTubers. But
Hmm.
I remember watching YouTube a lot. Like, I
Yeah.
was binging YouTube, and I came across this YouTuber named Corey Kenshin.
Hmm.
And he's been in the business for a long time,
Yeah.
doing this gaming content thing. But I started watching his videos, and I was like, sure, I'll try it out. And I just remember just cracking up. I was having the best time of my life, just
Excuse
laughing
me.
at him,
Hmm.
hearing his jokes. He was very, very much about his community, and
Hmm.
very, like, even though I would say, you know how you can tell with some people who are bigger content creators,
Hmm.
they change a bit. Like, they might become a little bit more egotistical or more superficial. He
Hmm.
was very authentic and real. It felt like you were watching your best friend on stream. So I just started watching him, and I was just like, wow, this is kind of motivating that he has been doing this for so long, and now this is his life. And if he wanted to quit now, he could, but he keeps doing it because he loves it.
Hmm.
Even though it's a very much known joke. He takes long breaks
He sure does.
now, because at this point he can take the breaks, but
Yeah.
people joke about it, like, I wonder how long it'll be this time.
Hmm.
So I think someone kicked him in the butt about it on TikTok, so he's been more frequent now.
Hmm.
But he's known for that, taking long breaks. But anyway, I started watching him, seeing what he was doing, and I was like, wow, he makes me feel good. That's crazy to see that, you can also do that with someone else. And it's something you love doing.
Hmm.
So I didn't, that was like what made me think about it. I didn't actually do anything until late 2021. I would say like the end of the year in 2021. That was when I slowly started building stuff towards having that set up.
Hmm.
And when I tell you about humble beginnings, I had like a rickety hospital table that I would have some of my stuff on,
Hmm.
and it was a mess. Let me just say that. It was a mess. And then gradually, like, I kind of started just, as a small streamer on a budget, you start adding little pieces in, working your way up. But that's what started the whole gaming gaming, and what you just said. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
what started that. Real
Cool.
quick.
That's not bad at all.
Let me grab this.
Oh, okay.
But yeah.
So,
No, I'm
nah,
sorry. I had to change out the Bluetooth.
nah, it's all good. It's all good. So, with that being said, yeah, Corey Kenshin, I remember watching his content when Resident Evil 2 remake came out. That was my very first time watching his
Yeah.
videos, and he did like the
Uh-huh.
whole reenactment and everything before the gameplay. So I can always appreciate
Right.
someone who puts in time to entertain their audience and at the same time involve their audience within the process, because he's always talking to them, and that's what I noticed you do too. You involve your audience a great deal when it comes to your content and how you like to cultivate a community versus just streaming. Does that make sense?
Yeah. No, for
And
real, it does.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I also noticed that within the beginnings, I want to take it back a little further. And correct me if I'm wrong, but during my research, I
Mhm.
noticed that the game that got you started in all of it was, what was it? Pokemon Yellow. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
Pokemon Yellow.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm. Wait a
Okay.
minute,
So
how did you know that?
I do my research.
I'm trying to think what video or where did
Hmm.
I say that at?
I
Huh.
told you. Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
yeah,
Them
it was
old posts that
Pokemon
you
Yellow.
forget about. Yeah, I want to make sure that you feel welcome and that I do my research and know how much you appreciate it. So
Mhm.
yeah, I definitely want to make sure I took time into
Yeah.
that. I mean,
Well,
also,
thank you.
oh,
You surprised me there.
yeah, there you
I
go.
was gonna say too, yeah, like I grew up with like, we had the Nintendo 64 in our house.
Hmm.
So I did play, I played Super Mario. I remember playing there was a Home Alone game. I don't know if you
Hmm.
knew about that way back, but there was a Home Alone game when the movie came out, I guess.
Hmm.
Um and I remember playing those, but yeah, Pokemon Yellow had the biggest impact on me because I just couldn't put it down. I was like
Yeah,
glued to it.
I was the
Hmm.
same way with red. I think I had red. I didn't have blue, and I played that a great deal.
Oh
And
yeah,
then
red was
yeah, and then you had one of them had
good.
Pokemon, the other one didn't have one, and then Yellow pretty much combined it all, and you had that Pikachu outside the
Hmm.
Pokeball following you the entire time.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
it
yeah,
was just
yeah.
different. I like that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I was definitely a big fan of the Pokemon games on Game Boy. My brother was the Game Boy kid, so he had a lot of the handhelds. I was
Hmm.
more or less like, oh, let me get my Sega Genesis, let me get my PlayStations. If my parents were, if I did well, then they would bless me with some
Right.
time for gaming. So, and another game that we do share, not to go off the cuff, but Tomb Raider. I know you had a big affinity for Tomb Raider as well, and I did also. So that's something that
Yes.
resonated when I was doing my research on you too. And
I have
yeah,
a funny little story about Tomb Raider.
do
I
you?
probably would have gotten into it sooner, like much sooner than I did. But I didn't get into it until I was older, like, like a
Hmm.
few years ago, older. But I remember as a kid, I had picked this game up, and I was like, oh, this is so cool. She looks really like tough and everything.
Hmm.
And I remember my mom, like, I don't think she paid attention to it, but when she saw the game itself and she saw how voluptuous Tomb Raider
Yeah,
was, she was
yeah.
like, okay, maybe this isn't for you. So, and maybe it could have been the violence too, but I do think the image of Tomb Raider may have had a little thing to do with it.
Yeah.
But it's cool. It was cool getting to play the games now and just revisit them and,
Hmm.
just see she is such a badass character. So
Yeah.
I just enjoy I didn't yeah, that was the game I really enjoyed playing. I have I could check now, at least with the is it Rise of the Tomb Raider? I think it
That
was
was
Rise of
the
the Tomb Raider
second
I
one,
had
yeah, in
played.
that trilogy. Yeah, it was Tomb
Oh, what was
Raider,
the
Rise of
first
the.
one?
It
Just
was Tomb Raider, and then Rise of the Tomb Raider, and then Shadow of the Tomb Raider.
okay. I was gonna say so on Tomb Raider, I guess
Mm.
the newer one alone,
Hmm.
that's 2013.
Yeah.
I have about how many hours? I was gonna look for my hours because apparently I shock people every time I tell them.
Hey.
I forgot how you see that in Steam though. I
Oh
have a
yeah.
lot of hours. Shoot.
I'm
I
still semi
have
new to the
oh
to
here
the
it
Steam
is.
world. So.
Yeah, no, Steam is funny sometimes. Oh, here it is. 800 880.8 hours.
Whew.
Yeah. So
I thought you were gonna say like
this was
200, and I was
actually
like,
a
oh
game
yeah.
I played. No, no, this was a
Hmm.
game when because I remember for a while when I got it, I was
Hmm.
hooked. I was playing it over and over
Hmm.
and over again.
Hmm.
Honestly, I should try a permadeath run on it, but yeah, that was the game I played nonstop for a
I hear you.
while.
Oh man, I don't know. I think I play like Skyrim, Morrowind, Oblivion. I maybe collectively I put a few hundred
Mhm.
hours in, but I don't know if I put 800 hours in one game. If I have, I can't think of
Uh-huh.
it, but I'll
Yeah.
definitely get back to you or probably tell you on stream and let everybody be shocked just as I was with that 800 count.
Right. Now tell us.
Yeah, but I mean, being that you had, I won't call it an addiction, be you had a commitment to play Tomb
Right.
Raider and most games. You also have a strong commitment to Twitch. I don't really see you on Kick.
Mm.
I don't see it on YouTube as much, and I remember there were some reasons for that. But Twitch, you definitely stuck
I
with.
gotta get back on YouTube.
Yeah, but like Twitch is definitely your home.
Mhm.
So if you don't mind, walk me
Right.
through the process of choosing Twitch more than like Kick or YouTube at the time when you were
Ha!
starting.
Yeah, so, I guess for me, I was actually more on the YouTube side.
Mm, mhm.
I remember firmly telling myself, and I used to joke about this. I would say YouTube is my wife, but Twitch is my side chick. And and like I would firmly tell people that. I was like, yeah, you might see me on Twitch here and there, but
Mhm,
overall, I do hope to be on YouTube more because I wanted to. I guess I always liked the idea of having my own schedule more so with YouTube. All I have to
mhm,
do is make my videos, and as long as I post them on the days I say I will, then I'd be fine.
mhm.
Versus with Twitch, you are, when you stick to that schedule, you kind of have to stick to that schedule
Yeah,
because changing it dramatically is like starting from scratch.
okay.
So I remember saying, yeah, I like YouTube. I like the flexibility of it. But yeah, that's like how I got into it. I started posting videos on YouTube,
Mhm,
like playthroughs that I would record off stream,
mhm,
and then just post. And then I started like kind of tiptoeing into Twitch. But then I mainly stayed on YouTube, and I even tried the YouTube live streaming option. And I think something I've always noticed, and a lot of people would probably agree with me, is that YouTube has a very iffy algorithm compared
okay.
to Twitch.
Yeah.
I think the discoverability on Twitch has always been better than YouTube.
Mhm,
Um, and I just remember like I was talking to more people on Twitch than I was on YouTube. And I was like, okay, maybe we're gonna change this up. Maybe what I'll do is I'll stick a little bit more of Twitch and I'll build a community there. And
mhm.
then hopefully I can get them to come over to YouTube and watch my YouTube streams.
Yeah.
But then it just turned into me mainly streaming on Twitch. And, people, they still join my YouTube, which is great because they love me and they want to support me and comment on
Mhm,
stuff. But yeah, that's kind of how it started. I would like to ultimately figure out how to multi-stream and
okay.
incorporate YouTube and Twitch together. That's the end goal at this point. But yeah, that's kind of how I got into it. With Kick, I will say, I don't know. I just heard so many you sometimes you hear about streamers doing crazy stuff, getting in trouble,
Yeah,
and it's like hard not to automatically associate it with Kick.
yeah.
Uh
That's true.
cuz
That's true.
it's like you look up Kick streamer does this, Kick streamer does that. So, I think for me I was like, I did create an account there, but more so to
Mhm,
keep my username. But yeah, that was kind of my reasons with Kick is I do like the fact that their streamers, they get a bigger cut as
mhm,
opposed to Twitch. Twitch takes the bigger cut.
mhm.
But overall, like just with the morals, I felt like I was not gonna be, teaming with Kick on anything. So
Yeah, not all money is good money. And I
yeah,
mean,
that part.
I've definitely seen some people use Kick and they're fine.
hmm
But with a
Yeah, there are
lot
great
of,
people who stream on Kick
yeah,
as well.
yeah, it's just unfortunately they're surrounded by the negative qualities that
Mm,
some things kind of they can get away with on Kick. So I can understand why you don't want to
hmm
associate yourself too much, or at least until
Yes,
they clean it
sir.
up a bit. You know what I mean? You want to make sure that your
Right.
image is still solid. Um, I mean, that can be a deterrent, but at the same time, you stay inspired. Despite not having a dual stream yet, or while you're working on that and not associating yourself with the entities that might kind of soil your name a bit, you still stay inspired and you still stay consistent. So, I would like to know what are some of the things that keep you inspired, or some of the things that
Mm,
inspire you while streaming. Whether it's people, whether it's games. I know that you incorporate a
mm,
lot into your streams uh, when it comes
mhm.
to keeping your community entertained. So, what kind of inspires those things?
For sure, I'm gonna say his name again, Corey Kenshin.
Hmm, hmm,
I just like seeing how, like, when I watch him, I could be having the worst day ever, and I put him
yeah,
on, and I'm just cracking up by the end of the video, and I'm like, you know
hmm,
what? All right, maybe life isn't so bad right now.
sure,
So
sure,
just I guess what inspires me is feeling like I can have that impact on someone's life.
hmm,
I can make them smile, I can make them laugh, and be it like something weird I say and then they start quoting it themselves.
true,
It's just like little things like that. I think that stick with me. I also I would say probably some of my own streamer peeps.
Hmm.
I have people who they started off not really knowing the certainty of this of being a streamer,
Yeah.
and now it's like their full-time job, you know. So seeing them do their thing and show up consistently, especially like when you see people who are sticking to that schedule, and streaming as a job can be very, it can be very what's the word, not like I guess I won't say unstable, but it can be tricky,
Yeah.
and it takes a lot of courage to pursue that as your full time. So
Hmm.
when I see them and I see them show up and I see them put in the work, it's really cool to see, because I've seen people start with like, you know, 10 followers, and then all of a sudden they're almost at 10,000 and they have
Hmm.
10,000 subs so far raised, and it's just like, wow, like you came a long way. So
Yeah.
I look at the streamers around me, and I also take notes on what they're doing.
Hmm.
I also listen to my own videos, which I hated
I
doing and I
bet.
still hate
I
it.
bet.
Absolutely. It's like probably I'll think I did a good stream, and then I'll listen to my VOD and I'll be like, "Oh god, why?" But it also helps me, cuz there are times where I'll notice I paused way too long here, I was too quiet,
Hmm. Hmm.
or I mumbled a little bit, or your mic sounds janky,
Hmm.
your video looks crap. That's actually
Hmm.
what I've been doing all day today. I was
Hmm.
looking at things to change just now. So, yeah, I would say that inspires me, because, you know, I want to be at the point where if I'm posting this on the whatever social media for the world to see, you
Hmm.
know, you want to look good. You don't want to look jacked up or sound jacked up. So that's where my inspiration comes from there. Probably Corey Kenshin, or, you know, the other YouTubers I watch.
Hmm.
Jazzy Guns is another one
Oh
I
yeah,
love to
Jazzy Guns. Yeah,
watch.
yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Jazzy Guns. Bang bang.
Who else? Yeah, yeah,
Hmm.
Barefoot Tasha.
She's a big one. Yeah,
I
for
also
sure.
watch Berlizzi as well.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, there's probably so many more. But I watch them, and you know, they kind of inspire me.
Gotcha. Yeah, I can definitely see that. Berlizzi has a lot of energy. One of my favorite posts is when
Mm-hmm.
he was playing the Walking Dead series. It was like the
Yeah.
last one, and he got hype when the little boy like shot the main bad guy, and he was like going crazy. That was
Uh-huh.
hilarious. Jazzy Guns, and I believe what's her man's name, because they both stream and they both do like gaming content.
Joanne. It starts with a D. Joanne, right? Isn't it
Dwayne or something
Joanne?
like that.
Something.
Like, yeah, and
Dwayne. Yeah.
yeah, I want to look in the camera when I say if y'all ever see this, I apologize. I'm a fan. But I really like their content, how they do like reactions together, you know what I mean? And Barefoot
Mm-hmm.
Tasha, I've definitely hopped into her streams, and a friend of mine's really a big fan of her. Shout out to Yerk Nation. I really
Oh,
enjoy people.
nice.
Yeah, they definitely have their own style where they really bring out themselves in that stream, and people can resonate with that. And I think that a lot of people
Mm-hmm.
in any medium, but especially streaming, you find people that you like and you try to imitate it. And usually artists like that, until you find your own lane. And then what you've done, just like your inspirations have done, have found your own lane to make people want to come to you and see you versus seeing a copy of someone else. So I think that you do a really good
Right.
job at
Yeah.
that. And you've kind of,
Thank you.
no problem. And as you are continuing to develop, you're constantly cracking the code on that. Usually I'm watching you while I'm working. So I come into the stream, I'm like, okay, what's she playing? And then we just talk, you talk to your stream, you're cracking jokes. One of my favorite jokes you said was when Ish hits the fan, and how you said that, yeah, when Ish hit every
Yeah.
blade of the fan. I just thought that just that specific detail is just
Yeah.
super funny to me. So I can appreciate your candor and your humor. Uh, and with that candor and humor, you also bring substance and style to your streams. You don't usually come in lacking. So, kind of give me a rundown of that process where you get the hair, situated, when you get the makeup situated, you know
I
what I mean?
saw that question and I
I,
was like, I
you,
don't know. I just feel like I do me, because
yeah.
I definitely don't show. I don't feel like I show out. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
literally just put on. I used to, like, in my earlier days.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, straight up get out of bed, start
Mm-hmm.
streaming.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, just in my pajamas. Right.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I think y'all have seen me in my PJs
You
sometimes,
got the nice
but I
PJs, the
used to
silky
just
smooths.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do have those.
Mhm.
Yeah, so I used to have the baggy shirts though, like the baggy t-shirts and
Mhm.
hoodies and just be like, well, not that many people are watching anyway, so whatever. But that
Mhm.
was like my attitude on it, but I think honestly probably watching the other streamers around me, I was like, well, I want to feel a little slay when I watch my VODs too, you know, I
Mm.
want to like
Mhm.
how I see and especially I will say one thing about I guess being at home all the time, like whether you're working from home and streaming from home, one thing is you get so comfortable with just being in regular clothes,
Yeah.
like pajamas and loungewear.
Mhm.
And I was like, well, I never really get to dress up since I don't go out as much as I used to. So I
Mhm.
might as well start using some of these clothes I have. So occasionally, this is my little special number right here. Occasionally, you'll see me in something fun or whatever because I'm like, well, it's not like I'm wearing it anywhere else. And
Mhm.
yeah, it's like I kind of like I like feeling a little slay now and then. So
Yeah. No.
just a little razzle dazzle. But yeah, I just do lip gloss, eyeliner. I'm learning to do my eyebrows. Sometimes I look like a Sesame Street character. Um, at least until I get them microbladed and I don't have to do them. But like
Mhm.
now I'm looking at this one. This one I did a
Oh
little too
Lord.
much on,
Okay.
but
All
whatever.
right.
Whatever. Anyway, and yeah, the hair, bundles I got online. So
Hey.
yeah, it's I used to have the red hair like
Yeah, I
for a
remember
little
that.
bit, but
Yeah.
I think this looks better on stream for me. And I
Hmm.
can wear like I don't know if you ever experimented with hair colors, but sometimes when your hair is a certain color, it's
Hmm.
like hard to wear certain clothes because it
Okay.
clashes.
Sure.
So,
I
yeah.
can imagine that for
Mhm.
sure. Like, nah, anything that any color in my hair is just another bill to me. So I
Yeah.
definitely take in the grays that are coming in. Plus, it's a talking piece for some people. They really like it, and I'm like, cool.
I was
I
going to say,
appreciate that.
yeah, they look good too. They add
Uh,
personality.
I appreciate that. You know what I mean? Everybody who's
Mhm.
watching, look at the grades and start following. Remember, give them 5 stars. Give my grades 5 stars. So,
Mhm.
Steph
Mhm.
said it here. You know what I mean? So,
Yep. Yep.
but with that being said, I do like the fact that you do take the time to prep yourself. And I'm not saying that because it's like you got to look good on stream or anything like that, but it's just another element to your stream that you add in order for your stream to come out well. And that's just for yourself. And it also can
Mhm.
resonate with your audience, just like it resonated with me to ask that question.
Right.
Because I think that that's a major piece where somebody can go into a stream and they can feel good because someone looks good as well. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And I love
Right.
that you bring that to
Exactly.
your streams, and you also bring music elements to your streams. When I first came
Yeah.
in, I was like, karaoke. I've never seen anyone do that. And
Yeah,
there were mornings that I was like, I need to get some work done because they're singing right now. Let me come back. And then I started watching them, and I was like, okay, these are kind of fun. I'm not. I can't even lie. They're kind of fun. I'm not singing because it's too early, but I can watch from time to time. And you also take
Mhm.
breaks in between to talk to your chat and laugh with your chat as you're singing, you're rapping, you're doing whatever. And you also give the opportunity to your stream to pick the songs for you. So, with that being said, was it always like that when it came to your music, or did you start off just doing the songs yourself and then it just kind of caught on? What brought that onto your streams?
Well, actually, like, for the longest time, it used to be you had to do a 30,000 channel point redeem
Mm,
to get the
that's
karaoke.
expensive. Ooh.
Uh, exactly, because I didn't wanna do it that much,
Mm-hmm.
and I wanted it to be, like, the most loyal of the loyal, so I was
Sure.
like, "Yeah, it's 30,000 channel points."
Mm-hmm.
But, I would say, and then there were people who were rising to the occasion, but I will say, like, I was kind of like, "Okay, well, what's something else I can add that would be really fun?" Because sometimes when you start stream, it's really nice to see someone who jumps in and who's already saying hello when you're on the starting soon screen.
Yeah.
And that's like my favorite part of the day is like reading out everyone's names as they pop
Mm-hmm.
in, like, good morning, you and you. And
Mm-hmm.
so I was like, well, we could have a first redeem. And then, like, to add something sweet to it, we could make it an additional karaoke thing. So they can pick that song, whatever song they want to start the stream with. they can pick that if they're first.
Mhm.
And I would say that started maybe a few months ago, maybe a
Okay.
few, could have been longer than that that I started doing that, but a lot of people like it. Now they fight to be first, and
Yeah.
I have to tell people to like give other people a chance because now I
Mhm.
have like designated people who like to be first, but
Mhm.
and it's kind of funny too because since doing the karaoke redeems, a lot of my peeps they've added karaoke to their channel as well.
Mhm.
So it's kind of cool to see that starting to spread.
Yeah, because I think who is it? Is it Jay? I want to say he did it a couple times when I popped into his stream. I think y'all played a way out
Jay does
together.
it. Hmm.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that was the
Right.
second
Yeah.
person I've ever seen doing
Jay,
it. Yeah.
Livid,
Hmm.
Pack. There's a few that to
Hmm.
name. Yeah.
Oh, okay. See, so you're also a trendsetter. See, I just knew you were dope. Look, but
I've
you.
gotten more people into the games and demos recently. Like that
I
kind of
saw.
became my niche lately.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, because I was gonna ask about that as well as far as, getting
Hmm.
into your streams. You definitely were playing all types of games such as, like, Sims, you were playing Friday Night at
Yes.
Freddy's, which, bonus question, was that the
Yes.
scariest game you ever played? I've seen you play scary games, and that's the only one that made you stand up across your room. Um, I saw that one, and
There
I thought
was
that was
one where I
hilarious.
almost had a half pass out.
Oh,
That was
whoa.
Outlast too.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
I don't
I
touch
was like,
Outlast.
ugh, in my chair. Like my heart was just like just about to give out. I think Outlast 2 would probably take the cake
Mhm.
because that was the game where I literally had to pause so many times.
Mm,
Like I that game had me shooketh. So
yeah.
I would say 2. Outlast 2 was the scariest for me.
I quit at the demo. So I don't even know that struggle. I don't do
You're
that. Mm-mm. If I don't have a gun, I don't want none. You dig what I'm saying? So,
That's a good quote. Uh-huh.
but going back to it, you also with the games and demos, you definitely play a variety of different games. And I've caught one of
Mhm.
the odysseys, Poop Killer, which was hilarious. I know you give a lot of indie devs a lot of love. What kind of
Mhm.
brought you into that particular niche, coming from The Sims, Friday Night at Freddy's, The Last of Us when it released on PC, and how excited you were about that? What brought you into the directions of games and demos?
I would say I followed a few cuz I wanted to get more into horror
Okay.
and I followed a few streamers who that was also all they did.
Hmm.
And one was Cavesta. And
Cavesta. Okay.
she's been in the streaming game for a while.
Hmm.
But she's so funny. She's very interactive with her chat. She's I feel like she's fearless even if she's screaming at the same time.
Hmm.
And I would find these really cool games watching her play them.
Hmm.
And I would be like, wait a minute, I didn't even know you could find games like this. I thought, demos were kind of just, I don't know. I had a more relaxed attitude with demos. I didn't take them as serious, and I usually would buy the game over playing the demo.
Hmm.
So just seeing her play these indie, because it was like the indie horrors that really got me. There was
Hmm.
some really creative, well done, like, and I don't know, like I feel like sometimes with smaller games you see the heart that's put into it
Hmm.
versus a bigger project where it's kind of like, attract the masses. I there was something about seeing those like really special hidden gem kind of games
Yeah.
that made me go, oh, let's try this out. And it almost feels like I'm going on a different adventure every time. Like
Hmm.
I have my friends who joke like, girl, it's the same game. It's every time it's the same game. It's
Yeah.
either you working in retail late at night, somebody's trying to kill you, you have a
Hmm.
stalker.
Hmm.
I have Alexia, she said I have been stalked for like 4 months now because of all the games I play that
That's
are
true.
stalker related.
Yeah.
Uh
I don't know how
so
you sleep.
sometimes I don't know, but I guess like playing games like that for me it just because for a long time I didn't know what my niche was. I thought I was going to be more variety and play
Hmm.
Sims and random stuff here and there,
Hmm.
but I feel like once I found my niche, it made me more excited about starting streams, made
Hmm.
me more excited about what games I was going to play.
Mm,
So I kind of just started leaning more into that. And I guess it's been helping because, it's gotten me more noticed by other people and it's been
mhm.
great.
I love that. I love that for you. I want to say, have I
Mhm.
been following you for about 4 to 5 months now?
And maybe. I'm trying to
Yes.
think. What game did you find me on? It was Resident Evil, right?
No, it was some other game. You were like in a factory of some sort, and then soon after
Was it
that,
Dollmare?
I couldn't tell you. It was definitely
Hmm.
a game I've never seen before, and it was just one early morning, and you were on, and I was like, oh. I always love seeing black women stream. I love it. Love seeing us on the screen, especially black women, because I see more and more black women in gaming, where that used to be not a
Mhm.
thing growing up. And so I love being able to support. You
Mhm.
came in, it was early in the morning. I'm like, first of all, she gets up early, and
Yeah,
and then
that part.
I decided to, if I wanted to learn about Twitch a little more, know more about streaming, the little bit that I have done this time of the recording, I wanted to kind of interact, and you interacted very, very well. And then I got a chance, maybe a month, if not a month later, to watch you play the Poop Killer series and the what was it? Something with fried rice and that takeout, and you had the multiple endings and stuff.
That game. Yeah,
Yeah,
stir-fried rice or egg fried rice.
yeah,
Wow.
that was like one of the earlier games that I watched you play. So it's been about 4 months now
Mhm.
that I've been on your channel consistently, going on 5. So
Yeah, I would say that I guess that was kind of when I started leaning more into the
mhm.
games and indie horrors. Yeah.
Oh, I came in right on time then. All right, perfect. So
Mhm.
with
Yeah,
seeing
you did.
that and seeing that transition come about, actually has been pretty cool. Where like one of the streamers was that the same Cadessa came into your stream that one time,
Mhm.
and how hype you
Yeah,
got and
it
stuff.
was really crazy.
Yeah. So being able to stick to that niche has been very, very dope for you. And it's cool. I got to see that at the time of this recording, see that kind of grow
Mhm.
every week. Even during the times where you were fighting with your equipment, and having to upgrade your
Yeah,
equipment. And so that leads me
man.
into, the next question. You've definitely had some hardships, and one of the big ones that I saw constantly was your computer, like before you upgraded. And congratulations on that again, by the
Mhm.
way. I know that's been a huge blessing for you. Uh,
Absolutely huge.
yeah. So, with that being said, what are some of the other struggles have you kind of gone through when it came to streaming? When it comes to equipment, I've seen that, but what are some of the other ones that you've done, and have you gone through, and how have you overcome some of
Hmm.
those troubles or challenges?
Well, that's a good one. I try to be patient.
Hmm.
I try to have a sense of humor about it. I
Hmm.
kid you not, just yesterday, it was like some big accident I had, but I knocked over my keyboard.
Oh.
And I guess it was a hard enough fall where I guess it was like the spacebar key completely popped off.
Oh.
And I
Okay.
just remember being like, bruh, don't tell, like, really? Like, I
Hmm.
remember trying to pop it in and like the parts were all over the place. And I was
Hmm.
like, bruh, the space bar of all the keys on the keyboard, the
Yeah, you
space
need it.
bar,
You
you
definitely need
know,
it.
I need that. So it's not like one I could ignore. And I just remember like just breathing and just taking my time and like putting the
Hmm.
little pieces together.
Hmm.
And then I had the fun part of taking out more keys because the keys on the keyboard were I guess you have to I guess the way they put it in, you have to
Hmm.
like put certain parts in first. So that was like a fun thing to do.
Yeah.
Anyway, long story short, I try to be patient. I
Hmm.
try to have a sense of humor about it.
Sure.
Like I remember way back in the day when I would play like really heavy games.
Hmm.
Mind you, I was playing on a laptop.
Yeah.
I would play the heavier graphic games. It was like a common thing for the signal or Wi-Fi to either the Wi-Fi would go out or I would just completely crash because of the game.
Hmm.
And it kind of became a thing in stream where everyone's like, well, it's not a Steph stream if it doesn't
Does it? Yeah.
crash. It's like that's became like a saying. And like we've come a long way
Yeah.
from crashing almost every morning to like, being able to just stream 6, 8 hours and no
Hmm.
crashes. But yeah, I just try to be patient and have humor about it. Luckily, I have a really understanding peeps who they'll tease me about it, but at the same time, they still show up when I'm ready
Mm,
to go, and I
mhm.
think that's what helps me like kind of keep my energy up. Um, but yeah, I would say just have humor about it. Don't take it too deep. And I tell everybody, you're becoming a streamer when you do get technical issues because that's just something that will always come with streaming.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
get that. I get that 100%. The little bit that I've done trying to just get everything together, and God bless my friends who've helped me. Uh, Key light, camera the camera I have now, and the Stream Deck,
Mm-hmm.
which I don't care if you stream or not, get a Stream Deck. This thing is amazing. Um, I it was just trying to find the right programs to because OBS was not being my friend. It's still not for the most part. Using
Mm-hmm.
something and learning what is it Meld I use now, and that's free, so that always helps. And that's getting better and better as they develop it. But then watching my streams, and it's like, okay, the sound is not there. Okay, the playback is trash. This specific game
Mm-hmm.
doesn't want to show up on screen. And I know one of
Right.
the biggest things I've had was OBS would show the gameplay for the most part, but as soon as I turned on my camera, it would just no matter what I was playing, it would just be terrible. It was awful.
Yeah.
I was getting
Yeah.
sad for real. Not
I
gonna hold you.
remember my early days of streaming. I
Hmm.
remember like when you might not have that many people there or
Yeah.
anyone there. I remember there'd be times I forgot to turn my mic on or check my mic, and it would be
Mm.
me just talking silence for like 2-3 whole hours.
Oh
And
wow.
I would just be like, "What? No one told me." But then of course no one would tell me because no one was there.
Right.
So yeah.
Except for the occasional bot that's trying to sell you art. So I see that a
Yeah,
lot.
right. Or, give me some cheap viewers,
Hmm.
those lovely peeps.
Yeah, appreciate it. Appreciate it. But no,
Mhm.
I do find the streaming to be very very fun. And when you're into a game and you got one or two people, maybe three four people, and then I see that seven eight, I'm like okay, and they're talking. Even if it's people that I know, I can have that conversation with them. I can laugh with it, and not put so much pressure on the number. Just getting. I always take it as okay. If there's not a lot of viewership right now, this is just practice, getting into the game, getting
Exactly.
comfortable, making sure that my settings are right and doing tests. I mean, you've seen me do tests here and there. When
Mhm.
streaming, I just popped in and now he's gone. It was just a test stream. Okay. You know what I mean? But you've also seen the successful
Yeah,
stream. So I thought that was pretty cool. So I can definitely feel that sense of accomplishment or high when you get into your rhythm and different things like that. I'm not on your level yet, though.
and I always tell people, if you can, turn off your viewer count. Don't have it on. Just don't even look at it. Look at your stats after your stream because it'll
Hmm.
tell you. It'll tell you how many people were here at this time
Hmm.
and then how many people were at the end. And you'll probably see when you rate out anyway, but I think that's been my biggest thing. Like actually I did that from day 1. When I started streaming, I would keep it off so that I could focus on stream, and like even now if I get huge raids, I really like not knowing how many people are there cuz it helps me
Mm.
focus more on the game and the experience.
Oh, I didn't even know you could turn it off. You teaching me something.
Yeah. I can I'll send you the link that like showed me.
Oh
But
yeah,
yeah,
absolutely. Appreciate that.
I'm telling you it's the best. It's the best.
Yeah, I would love it
It's really
because
easy.
yeah, I see you have from 30 folks, 40 folks, 50 folks, and then when your fandom went off when your favorite streamer came in and you had close to like 100 120 and you were just in there just just going through and I'm like dang she don't see this number and I guess you don't because you're just
Yeah,
focused on
I
everyone coming
don't.
in and I love that I
It's
love that.
it's funny though, cause like my peeps, they'll get excited about it and they'll be like, cause we've had really like really cool people like rate us, like
Hmm.
Drew the dude. He's
Okay.
actually someone else who does a lot of horror games and indie games, as
Hmm.
well as who else? Who else? There's someone else, Foreign Fridays.
Foreign
He's
Fridays.
very big on YouTube.
Mm,
And he does podcasts and talks as well.
nice.
He rated me, um and my peep, her name's Heavenly. She has had huge rates, or she's done huge rates on the channel.
Hmm.
And I've had people be like, Steph, did you even know that there was like 200, 300 people in here?
Mm.
And I'm like, I may have seen it, or I may not have, not I may have seen it. I may have had a feeling because you
Hmm.
see the little they've rated with this many people. You see that
Yeah.
pop up. But, I don't want to know how many people are in here now. I just want to play the game. So, yeah, it's a cool feeling. It's
Hmm.
crazy for people to trust you with their community like that sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. I can imagine.
Mhm.
And when trusting people with, streamers with their communities, I can imagine because basically you're coming off the back of me like basically saying like, hey, this is my homie, they're real cool, vibe with them. And then you come in and you're a real vibe, they're gonna stick around. There are a few people that you have rated
Right.
that stuck around like Heavenly and what's her name? Spooky something. You just rated her recently.
Spooky Queen?
Spooky Queen, yeah, yeah, yeah. So
Yeah, she's pretty cool.
she's cool,
Mhm.
has a lot of energy. I love the way that she has her stream set up as well. So she's really cool, and it's kind of fun and homely when you're there, but just a lot of energy. Um, so you have a way to connect with your audience in such an authentic way. How do you tend to balance that connection with gaming and chatting? Because I know some people have a hard time being able to read the chats, to keep up with the chats, and still focus on the game and make sure you are entertaining at the same time. How do you find your balance?
I have tried to get I think I do an okay job. I'm not gonna lie, there have been some times where I will straight up miss paragraphs
Mhm.
of
You miss
writing,
mine.
or
I ain't mad at
I'll
you.
take, yeah, yours, or I'll take sentences and I'll turn them into something completely different.
Hmm.
So I've done a lot of that. But just like little things I've done, I've worked on making the text bigger,
Hmm.
so that when I look over, it's easier to pick up. I have the messages highlighted so they stand out to me more.
Hmm.
Just doing little changes like that has helped a lot. Or I'll even tell someone, hey, can you just repeat what you said?
Hmm.
Especially like if there's a really crazy part of the game going on and I probably missed a lot of messages that whizzed by. I'll say, guys, if I missed any messages, please just repost them. I
Hmm.
promise you, I'm not ignoring you.
Hmm.
Just repost them and I'll get to you. I promise. Just so people know I'm not like ignoring them intentionally.
Yeah.
Tell me and I'll catch it again. And
Hmm.
yeah, I think just I try to tell people that all the time because you never know when new peeps are coming in, and I don't want them to think, oh, she doesn't communicate very well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's usually what I do.
I can understand that. And it's definitely important. I've noticed, even with a friend of mine, when I used to stream on my consoles a lot, just to show gameplay to my
Mm-hmm.
friends, old friend of mine, he would jump in and he would say stuff on my Xbox. I don't see the chat at all. And on my PS5, the chat will come up and I'm like, okay, cool, I can talk or whatever. But he always known me for
Mm-hmm.
not talking to my chat. And I'm like, I mean, I don't have it set up. Now I'm on PC. It's a little different. My little setup I got, it helps out a lot so I can have conversation and kind of learn how to balance that. But I can, and also just as a viewer, I can feel like, oh, this person seems cool. Let me just say something. And it's like, well, they don't talk to the chat at all. You're not very much so interactive. It doesn't really make it for a fun experience or a personable experience, even though we're online watching you play a game. So I can understand the importance of that
Right.
connection for sure with the person that you're enjoying their stream. You know what I mean? But
Mm-hmm.
with
Exactly.
with that balance, I know you get so engulfed in that talking to your stream, making sure you're playing the game, making sure you're entertaining, making sure you look good on camera, make sure that your mic is on. But the number one thing that a lot of people I see in chats are telling you to, hey, make sure you drink your water. Make sure you stay
Yeah.
hydrated. I see that on so many
Yeah.
streams, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm always curious on how people take care of themselves when they are sitting down for so long. Because when you're working, you got to stand up a little bit, got to stretch out. But sometimes you can really get comfortable when it comes to streaming or being at your desk for so long, and sometimes it can hurt you in the long
Yes.
run. So, walk me through what you do for yourself to make sure that you stay sane and a little healthy as well. If you do anything that keeps you healthy, but something that doesn't keep you just glued to your seat.
See, this is where I'm a little embarrassed because although I push my people to hydrate,
Mm-hmm.
there are many times I am not hydrating very much.
Mm.
I'll be honest with you. I kind of like what we were discussing earlier, like
Mm-hmm.
I've been taking more seltzer water and Arizona tea than actual
Mm.
water.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna change that starting tomorrow at least, because I
Yeah.
just finished my Arizona teas. But I'm gonna start that now. So So yeah, like I would say like I'm working on that more so for myself.
Sure.
I also like keep protein bars next to me, so if I need a
Mm-hmm.
protein bar, if I get hungry, I eat that.
Mm-hmm.
Um but yeah, I would say that's something I actually need to work more on is like stretching, moving cuz I don't know if you've been around for when we do those like long gaming marathons where I'm on till like 8 hours, 12 hours.
Yeah, if I'm
But
working, you
sometimes I
understand.
don't
Yep.
get up the whole time.
I noticed that.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's very
And
rare
I
that you'll get
really
up.
I
Yeah.
do not condone it. I don't condone it. Don't ever do it. Take care of yourself. You know,
Mm-hmm.
at least maybe at least every 3 hours. At least
Mm-hmm.
stretch, get up, use the bathroom, whatever it may be.
Gotcha. Yeah, I've definitely seen some of your longer streams. If I'm on and I'm supporting,
Mhm.
especially, and I'm not even gonna lie, it makes it easier that I can watch your streams while I'm working because I'm glued to my desk most of the
Mhm.
time, so I can see when you're on, for 8 hours or whatever. And yeah, you definitely
Yeah.
make sure that you are glued to your
Yeah.
seat, to your screen. But yeah, I would always implore anyone, because I sit for a very long time, I gotta get up, I gotta stretch, I gotta go to another room, so I can
Right.
imagine streamers will definitely have to make sure they're intentionally doing that because they're on their own clock. And I know you have like a rhythm and you want to keep that viewership up too, so I know that some people can put pressure on themselves to make sure that they stay in one
Mhm.
place. But at least you're finding a balance to know that it ain't about that, it's more or less about your health. So,
Exactly. Yeah.
so with that,
Got to show up as your best self.
exactly. And I know there are some of the best moments where you show up as your best self, where you really give us something to crack up at, really give us something to just smile at. And sometimes
Uh-huh.
it's not about us, it's about you too. So give me, like, if you can think of one, maybe two of your most, like, your favorite moments from your streaming career you've had so far.
Mm. Oh boy. I would you said 2 or how
Yeah, no
many?
more than two, like one or two. I don't want to just give you the, like,
No,
what was the
1
best
or 2.
one. That's a lot of pressure.
Oh, wow. Yeah, it's almost a tricky one.
Mm.
But I would probably say when we raised money for me to get a PC.
Oh yeah,
That
yeah,
was
yeah.
hands down my favorite moment ever because I
Mm.
remember bawling like a baby on stream. It
Yes.
was so embarrassing.
Mm-hmm.
I remember crying about it, like, "Thank you guys so much." Da, 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 da,
Mm-hmm.
da, you know, I was really, really moved by it because I remember being like, "No, I'm just gonna buy my PC. I don't want to.
Mm.
I don't know how long it'll be before I get one, and I don't want to. I've always been that person where I'm just like, I don't want to." I don't want to ask people for money, I don't want to ask
Mm.
them to, put money into this. But I would say like I had been pushed. One of our peeps, his name is we jokingly call him Aki,
Okay.
but his name's Aikai.
Okay.
And
Okay.
his names are basically his daughter's names put together. So
Oh, that's nice.
Ayla and Kaya. So
Mm-hmm.
Aikai. But yeah, he was one of the people who pushed me the most. He was like, if you don't replace that dinosaur ass computer, like just
Yeah.
always
Yeah.
roasting me every day for crashing, roasting
Mm-hmm.
me all the time, telling me to put up a goal. And I finally one day I begrudgingly did because I wasn't able to play a few of the
Resident Evil
games I wanted
5.
to
No,
play. And I
Resident Evil
just was
4.
like, yeah, I couldn't even play
Yeah.
4, Resident Evil 4. So I was just like, fine, let me set this up. And we set up the goal and all that stuff. And just like all the people who came in, there were people who had just met me
Mm-hmm.
and they were donating. And it was really moving because I was not expecting to raise that amount of money in such a short span of
Yeah.
time. Um, and like, sometimes you question yourself as a streamer, whether or not you're entertaining, whether or not you bring something.
Mm-hmm.
And like seeing that kind of was like, wow. Like Steph, when she first started out, could have never done that.
Mm-hmm.
So to now know so many people who are just so generous and sweet to have done that, it
Mm-hmm.
was just a really good feeling. And I bawled, I cried on camera.
I remember that. Yeah.
I was a wreck. I was a wreck. So yeah, like I just was really moved by that and I'll never forget that. And like I even put everyone's names on my page, like just to
Hmm.
remember them by, because that was a huge, very huge thing. I almost wanted to read down their names because they were that great.
We have to put
But
it in the cliff
I
notes.
would say put in the cliff notes, right? But yeah, I would say that was one of probably the best moment, and that was like only this year, so that was a
Yeah.
huge moment to me. And then and this is on stream, right? Like my
Yeah.
streaming moment.
Hmm.
I would say it wasn't on stream. I would say becoming a part of the CEOs of Screams was
Oh
great,
yeah, yeah. We met
but
you recently. Yeah.
uh yeah, I would say only because that's not on stream, I won't really count it. But what was my favorite? Maybe doing a 24-hour stream. I've
Mm-hmm.
done 2. I've only done 2 ever. I did one last year and one this year, and this will be my last year doing
I
it.
bet. I was
I'm
there for that.
retiring, from I'm retiring, but I would say doing honestly both of those streams, it was crazy how many of my peeps came out to support me. They were
Mm,
rating me, wanting to play with me, to keep me awake.
mm,
I had people who stayed with me until the early morning hours,
mm,
like just to nighttime to early morning again,
mm,
like Mighty Morphin Unicorn,
mm,
so many people to name a few. I just remember Uni just being there almost the whole time, talking me through it when my eyes were going different directions like chameleons and they were heavy. I just remember having people stay with me and talk me through it. And I just, even I kept thinking like this is definitely gonna be my last one, and it will
yeah.
be, but that was for honestly my favorite moment. It's just getting to hang out with my peeps,
Hmm.
celebrating my birthday with them.
Yeah.
It was really nice. Yeah.
Yeah. That was a rough time. I'm not gonna hold you because I definitely stayed till about midnight. And I wanted to support so bad. And I
Yeah.
was like, yep. And I told you were playing Resident Evil 7. And actually, because of that stream, you brought me back to Resident Evil 7. I beat it recently. Um,
Mhm.
and I was
Oh,
like,
nice.
yeah,
Nice.
I was like, oh man, I'm about to support. And I was working that day. It was cool. I made sure the stream was
Mhm.
on. And I was like,
Right.
yeah, I'm at that age now where my knees are gonna hurt if I don't go to sleep. So I was here
I do
for
not
as long as
blame you.
as long as I could. But no, that was definitely a dope feat and something cool to see and experience for as long as I did with you. So I appreciate you being able to do that and bringing in your birthday celebration with everyone. Um,
Yeah.
with with that out of the way, with getting the computer out of the way, you've been on it pretty crazy. You've been on it really heavy. What would you say is the next step for Steph? What are you looking forward to?
Next step. I would love for I know I said I wanted to do more multi-streaming.
Hmm.
I want to do that, but I also really want to explore IRL streams.
Okay.
I've always been really fond of watching people either traveling or just working at their jobs, like doing
Hmm.
IRL streams and talking people through it. And I would love to like take people on the travels I go on,
Hmm.
like a little travels with stuff, if you will.
Hmm.
I would love to do something like that. So that's like a whole nother thing where you have to have like the right equipment. There's
Right.
hot spots you got to look into because
Mm.
connection can be really iffy.
Yeah.
So it's like a new thing I'm learning or teaching myself now. But I would like to get into more of that stuff in the future. Um, and I don't know. I don't know. I would love to get into some bigger projects too. That would be fun as well. But yeah, for now,
Yeah.
I'm enjoying the ride that has this year has been. It has been a year, but it's also been a good year.
Yeah, yeah. This year has been
Mhm.
challenging for a lot of people, but you and are the
Mhm.
type of person that you've shown me throughout the short time I have been checking your streams out that you have been someone who can roll with the punches, as you stated. Keep a smile on your face, don't take anything too personally, and just keep it moving. Steph, you are
Mhm.
a huge light in the streaming community. If I do say so myself. You put on
Oh.
for you have such a diverse group of people, but you still put on for the dope black women of streaming, you definitely want to make sure that you come prepared, even if it's not on time all the time, but you still make sure that your people are abreast of
Yeah.
your of your presence, and you make sure your
Uh-huh.
presence is known every day that you do stream. I always take it as a privilege to catch your streams. I take it as a privilege to be able to interact with you, to actually game with you, and to be able to speak with you tonight, Steph. With everything that you have done and what you have been through and where you are now, I can only see it going up from here. And I appreciate you so much for being on with me tonight. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Brock. Thank you very much. I was nervous, but yeah, you know what to do. You're a great interviewer, so
Oh
thank you
man,
for that, and
appreciate that.
likewise to you as well. Y'all
Thank you.
check out his photo work. His photos are fire.
I
Fire.
appreciate that. I appreciate it. I always keep it on me. I always keep it on me.
Uh-huh.
So let's go ahead and close out a little bit. Before we do that, tell the people where they can find you.
Okay. So you guys can find me, of course, at 7 a.m. Eastern, Monday through Friday on Twitch, Steph Not Curryco, um, as well as TikTok. I've started posting more on TikTok. I'm
Mhm.
being a little bit more consistent. So TikTok, same name, Steph Not Curryco. YouTube, Steph Not Curryco. Twitter, Steph Not Curryco, as well as Blue Sky, I believe, Steph Not Curryco. Yeah, but you guys can catch me there. I'm posting. I'm working on them getting good. Instagram as well. I haven't posted in probably over a year, but
Mhm.
I am going to start posting. So you can catch me on Instagram too.
Awesome. Well, you heard it here, guys. Thank you
Mhm.
so much to Steph one more time for coming on the show and making time to speak with the
Thank you.
kid.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And that's another episode, guys, of Creative Conversations. Again, you can find me on Spotify and on Apple Podcasts. Make sure you give us that 5 stars so that way we can boost conversations like this and inspire more to be able to tell their stories, and we can show gratitude to what they do for us. Until next time, God bless, and always stay creative. Peace.